All right. Talking about grading, I'm going to try to update the grades on my grade book, my ECC. Are you guys familiar with that? So you can check there to make sure everything's entered correctly.
Sherry just said that she dropped.
I'm sorry?
Sherry just said that she dropped.
Okay, thanks. Okay, the other thing is Piazza. Let's see. It's here. So, if you're new to Piazza, then you just sign up for this. Let's try this. And then you just search for your school. And then your class. There's only one chemistry class. Can you guys see this okay?
Yes.
And then as a student, you'll need a class access code. I put this on the syllabus here. The access code is just Chem 1B, all lowercase, no spaces. So just enter that in here. 1B. And just join the class. They'll ask for your email. So let me show you what's on there. So I posted some things here already. Day one handouts here. So here you can find a copy of the syllabus. 442. Let's go to page 2 of the syllabus. And there's an error here. We can fix that. Actually, this should be March 30th and 31st. And so I didn't change that when I was making this. So can you correct that for me, please? If you ever have any questions, you can post the questions on here. And it's open to anybody to answer those questions. So if you see a question there that you know the answer to, go ahead and answer it. Because it might take me some time to get to it. The homework assignments that I've been talking about are posted here. So this will be your first homework set, Chapter 24, Part 1. Chapter 24 is split up into 2 homework sets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make both homework sets, Part 1 and Part 2, worth a total 10 points. Okay, and then your Chapter 15, 16. 16 is a long chapter too. Boy, I didn't realize I put that many problems in. It's a lot of problems.
63 problems.
I'm sorry?
63 problems.
16 3 problems?
63.
Oh, 6-3?
63.
Oh, 63 problems.
Yeah.
Wow. 63 problems is going to take you some time. Well, I'll try to lighten the load of this one. Do some of these when we talk about it. 15 and 16. These are your initial chapters. 15 deals with any kind of what we call equilibrium. It could be gas phase, solution phase. etc. Chapter 16 is strictly aqueous, 16, 17, and 18. So 16 is the start of the aqueous equilibria. And so this is why I assigned a lot of homework problems here, because if you're shaky in 16, then 17 and 18 are the same thing, and you're gonna have trouble. If you don't have the stuff in 16 down. In fact, 16 is called acid bases part 1. 17 is called acid bases part 2. So if you don't have this stuff down, you're going to have trouble here for sure. And 18 as well. 18 is the most, one of the most challenging chapters.
So the first test would be chapter 24?
Yeah. The first test is just going to be a short quiz on chapter 24.
And then 15 and 16.
And then 15 alone. And then 16 alone. 17, 18, 19. Let's see if I did that. 63, so you already counted the problems. That's good.
Average is 40.
Average is 40 questions. That's a lot. So think about that. You don't want to cram the homework in the night before the test. Not going to work so well. Also, to build those neural connections takes time. So the sooner you do the homework, even just rapidly going through and copying it, the more time you have to develop those neural connections. And that's a big advantage, because I know I told the Chem 1A students this, but did I tell you the Ralph's story? When I was at Ralph's? Yeah. I just finished final exams at UCLA. UCLA, the tests are different. My tests are a slightly different philosophy than their tests. At UCLA, the tests are designed so that you do not finish. They're much longer exams than you have time for. So you pick and choose, right? So there was one question I got stumped on. I couldn't, I thought I was close to the answer, but I just couldn't get it to click, and I ran out of time. So didn't have time to finish that particular question, but it was okay, because you usually leave a lot of questions unanswered, just not enough time. And then right after the test, I went to Ralph's to do a little bit of shopping, and then when I was at the checkout, then it clicked. I don't know why, but it just clicked at the checkout. Oh, I just wish that happened like 2 hours earlier. So, don't try to cram these in, because usually it doesn't click. You want to review, of course you want to review them before the test, but your initial exposure to it should be well before the test. All right, so I have that. This is one homework assignment that's not there. It's what I call the Chem 1B Chemical Reactions Practice homework set. There's 20 reactions here, each worth a half a point. This is a 10-point homework assignment. I'll probably start this today.
When do you want us to come out?
The first one.
Well, the way I'm going to test the reactions is different, because the reactions, I'm going to take a quick survey. The reactions I teach a little differently than in most Chem 1A instructors. And so what I decided, I'm not going to have a test of reactions. I'm going to have periodic quizzes on the reactions. And so, one particular week I might test you on a metathesis or like a double replacement style reaction. And I'll let you know in advance. And so I'm going to break it up rather than just having one test on reactions. That way, it gives you more time to absorb. And plus, qualitative analysis, you're going to be exposed to tens, if not hundreds, of different reactions. And so you want to understand those a little bit better. So that gives you additional practice for these chemical reactions. And so In other words, I'm breaking up the test on chemical reactions throughout the whole semester. Just some handouts. You'll need this for doing chemical reactions, a redox and acid-base chart. I got a question. Why do we need the composition notebook? Now I didn't print this out, but I didn't do this in Chem 1A either. I made it a little more low-key in Chem 1A. In Chem 1B, we're going to start maintaining a lab notebook. And so you'll see this handout. It says Chem 1A, but ignore that. This is going to be for Chem 1B. And it just goes and talks about the lab notebook. And essentially, you're going to need the composition lab notebook to record all your observations. Some of you might have the duplicate, the carbon copy notebooks. You can use those if you'd like as well. I just tried to cut down the cost because everything's getting so expensive. I don't really need the copies. I can just check off your notebooks throughout the semester. And so you can save some money. You can pick those up at the 99. The comp notebooks you can pick up at the 99-cent store, but I've seen them cheaper, like 79 cents, at some places. Or was it Big Lots? Or I think it was like 79 cents. And so read this. We aren't having a lab for a while, so I haven't talked about this, and I haven't made a handout about this. This is something published by the ACS. Talk about like chemical risk. Would you treat? Nowadays, you see. I was looking at what was I looking at recently? I was looking at a product on Amazon. It was like a kid's tennis shoes, and there was a Prop 65 warning. This product is known to contain materials that cause cancer. And so should I buy those tennis shoes or should I not buy those, And so I think the Prop 65, it's nice to have that warning, but when they start sticking the warning on every single thing, then it loses its meaning. And so I thought, oh, maybe I'll put this here so you can better assess, the risks involved in exposing yourself to. And we do this all the time. I mean, pump gasoline, Prop 65 warning there, too. So many things. And so there's risks associated with this, but read that. I skipped over this. This is what we're going to start off with. This is chemical reactions here. And I have these as PowerPoints because this is kind of a review, so I'm just going to go through them kind of quickly, and then we'll do some practice with these. So you have these available on Piazza, and I try to email the link for Piazza before. Okay, this is not quite aligned correctly. Well, just cut off just the edge there. Okay. The definition of chemistry. What is the definition of chemistry? What do chemists do? What do chemists study? And I think this pretty well sums it up. I mean, composition, structure, properties. When I think of properties, properties include reactions. And so I don't think of properties and reactions as separate. I think of properties that there are two types of properties that you learn in Chem 1A. What are the two types of properties that you learn? Yeah, physical properties and chemical properties. And so what this definition is classifying properties as physical and reactions as chemical properties, separately. But we care about both. We care about the physical and the chemical properties, so let's just call it the composition, structure, properties of matter, of substances. And so when we think about physical properties, you know, how many physical properties can you think of? You know, give me some physical properties.
Color.
Yeah, smell, color, boiling point, melting point. Some of those we call extensive properties, some we call intensive properties. Remind me what intensive and extensive properties are.
Extensive is just like boiling point.
Boiling point is actually intensive. Intensive. Yeah, the extensive depends on the amount. And so things like a color can be an extensive property because color can change depending on the amount you have. What else? Mass changes depending on the amount you have, but boiling point shouldn't change depending on the amount because boiling point, a little bit of water versus a lot of water, it should be the same, right? And so we have those. So you're pretty well versed in physical properties, but what about chemical properties? Let me ask you, since chemical properties are chemical reactions because there's been a change in the identity of the substances that we're dealing with, how many types of chemical reactions, how many types of chemical reactions did you learn in Chem 1A? Okay. Well, let me just take a quick survey. How many types of chemical reactions did you learn in Chem 1A? And if you have to guess, that's fine. Just take a guess. Jasin, do you recall? Okay, that's fine. Rama? How many types of chemical reactions? How many physical properties are there? There are lots. Density, boiling point, melting point, lots, right? And so are chemical reactions the same way? They're lots. You know, why bother counting them? Because there's so many, right? Is that the way you think about chemical reactions, or do you think about it differently? Okay. Jose? Archiga? How many types? If nothing comes to mind, that's fine too. I just want to get a brief survey to see where I need to start.
Maybe there's more.
Okay. But did you learn lots of different types or just a few different types or in Chem 1A? Okay. Tyler? Uh-huh. Acid-base redox and double replacement and combustion. So lots of different types, basically. Okay. Is that right? Deanita? I know I'm mispronouncing it again, but Deanita? Okay, thanks. Okay. Okay. Kaneng? Maybe, you know, I forgot. Maybe some people don't want this recorded. This is recording right now. Let me stop it. Sorry. We'll start it again after.